Hello and welcome to this unscheduled YouTube release. The reason why I've decided to release a video today is because I've had some people reach out to me trying to figure out how to deal with trauma after the incident that occurred yesterday. First of all, I'd like to start by saying that I am sending out my true heartfelt condolences to those who lost family, friends, people that they know, people that they work with yesterday. My heart truly does go out to you. Your loss is unimaginable, and I really truly do wish that you receive the support that you so deserve as you go through this trying time. For those who are recovering from the incident, I wish you a speedy recovery, and I truly do wish you the best. Now, the emotional toll from something as horrific as what occurred yesterday can, first of all, it causes trauma, and it also causes intense, confusing feelings and frightening emotions. And sometimes we don't know what to do with these. And of course, being bombarded with images and news and all coming at you from the media, who of course have a job to report to us, but then receiving all of these images, receiving the news, hearing it over and over from our friends, hearing it over and over from people who were there or who heard about it, that just ends up re-traumatizing us, and it leaves us feeling like we're stressed. It triggers traumatic stress, and it does leave you feeling hopeless and helpless, whether you were directly involved in the incident or whether you were watching from behind a screen. Now, what is traumatic stress? Traumatic stress is a normal reaction to a traumatic event, such as the incident that occurred yesterday. What normally happens is that these events are extraordinarily stressful, definitely for the survivors, also for the witnesses, and of course for people who are watching it either through social media or through news sources. What happens is that when you're bombarded with these images coming at you and these news sources coming at you, what happens is that viewing these images over and over can overwhelm your nervous system and create traumatic stress. When you experience traumatic stress, you end up feeling helpless and vulnerable, and you feel like your security is shattered, especially if the event is man-made, such as the one that occurred yesterday. The first step to being able to deal with your traumatic stress is to first of all recognize that there are traumatic stress symptoms. Whether or not the traumatic event directly impacted you, it's normal for you to feel anxious, scared, and uncertain about what the future might hold. What may happen is that you may become jumpy and anxious, or you end up becoming disconnected and numb, or you might experience one or the other. This may come and go in waves. You may also experience sadness, particularly if you know people who passed away, or if you know someone who was impacted in some way. Shock and disbelief. You may have a very, very hard time trying to accept the reality that the event happened. Fear. It's not as unusual for us to feel fear that the event may occur again, or that we'll lose control, or that we'll break down. Helplessness. Because of the unpredictable nature of events such as the heinous acts that were committed yesterday, you may end up feeling vulnerable and helpless. Anger. You may feel extreme anger, definitely at the people who are responsible for the events such as the one that happened yesterday, or even at God. Shame. You may experience shame because you're having feelings and fears that you can't control. The physical symptoms of traumatic stress may include a trembling or shaking, a pounding heart, your stomach is tightening or churning, you have racing thoughts, cold sweats may also happen, you have a rapid breathing going on, a lump in your throat. Those are some of the physical things that you may be experiencing at this time if you are experiencing traumatic stress. It is really and truly important to remember that people react to trauma in different ways. So please take note of the fact that there's no right or wrong way to respond, and please don't tell yourself or anyone else what they should be thinking, feeling, or doing in order to deal with their trauma. Try and avoid obsessively reliving the event. The way to do this is to stop yourself from repeatedly viewing images, repeatedly reading articles, repeatedly watching news that reminds you of what happened. Try and find something that will be a distraction for you. Go out, watch a movie, cook, talk to a friend. Try not to dedicate all of your time and energy to reliving the event. Please allow yourself to feel what you feel. Trying to ignore your feelings doesn't make them go away. It actually slows your recovery. So allow yourself to feel whatever emotion you're feeling. Go back to your routines. Re-establish your routine for yourself, for your children, and for your workers or anyone you work with, because there's comfort in the familiar. So trying to go back to your schedule and to go back to the norm for you is really important. If you have experienced loss, please give yourself time to mourn the loss and to heal. Don't try and force the healing process. Let it happen when it does. Don't give yourself a timeline. Be patient with your pace of recovery. Please take care of yourself and be kind to yourself. Overcoming traumatic stress could involve taking action, and that means doing something positive, something that makes you feel like you're overcoming your fear, your helplessness, your hopelessness. And the way you can do this is through things such as volunteering. A lot of you have done an amazing job of going out to donate blood, donating your time, going out to help, to comfort others. This is a good way to start overcoming traumatic stress and to take control of the situation. Connecting with others who are affected by the tragedy may also be a way of overcoming any hopelessness you may feel. In doing that, what you do is you come together with people who are trying to remember those they may have lost in a positive way. Talk about them, see all the good things that they did. Make it a positive space as much as you can. Don't come together to talk about the event so that you can relive it, because that will be taking away everything that you've done to work towards trying to deal with your traumatic stress. Reach out to others. And when you reach out to others, I don't mean that you come together to talk about any traumatic event. It means that you come together and do normal things, things that you did before the event happened. It also means expanding your social network. Make new friends. Go out there. Get out there. Make stress reduction a priority for you. De-stress. Go to the spa. Relax. Watch a movie with friends. Go out and have dinner with people who you're comfortable with. Just try and find a way to do something that relaxes you, because that is a great stress reliever. Sleep. Lack of sleep makes it very hard to regain your emotional balance for your body, your mind, and your soul. Sleep. It's important to take note when there are traumatic stress red flags. If you see these red flags, then that means it's time to seek the help of a mental health professional. These are, number one, it's been 6 weeks and you're not feeling any better. You're having trouble functioning either at home or at work. You're experiencing terrifying memories and nightmares and flashbacks. You're having a hard time connecting to others and relating to others. You're experiencing thoughts that may be suicidal or feelings, and then you're starting to avoid more and more of the things that remind you of the disaster or traumatic event. That means it's probably time to seek the help of a mental health professional. Hopefully, that professional is a trauma specialist. Now, some of you are really wondering what to do when your child comes to you and asks questions, or when your child is exposed to this trauma. Like, for example, what happened yesterday. These are some of the things that I believe may work. Please see if they work with your child. First of all, maintain a usual routine. Go back to normalcy as soon as possible. This helps because children thrive on normalcy, and it gives a message to the child that life is safe and life will go on. Don't make any promises you can't keep. Don't say, oh, for sure, this will never happen again. But just tell them, you're safe, I'm here. A child always wants to know that you're there. So just show them that you're available, show them that you're there, and increase the level of support and encouragement if you can. Even though you've done your best to shield your child from any of the events that are occurring around the world, or indeed the events that happened yesterday, your child is still probably going to be exposed to these events through friends, through hearing neighbors talk, and sometimes, even though we think we're really covert in the way we speak, sometimes they pick up from us and listen to simple cues. If your child does come to you, please provide a safe place for them to be able to talk to you about what happened. Set aside a time, have them sit down with you, let them share uninterrupted, no judgments. It's not about, oh, who told you that and how did you, because then they'll shut down immediately and think, oh my goodness, I'm putting so-and-so in trouble. Let it be an open, safe space. Let them speak to you and tell you what's going on. And if they ask you questions, just give them a simple and realistic answer about the traumatic event, but don't go into detail. Remember, some of them are still developing and not ready to deal with all the facts. So just make it simple and make it realistic. Clarify any misconceptions and distortions, because that's important. And if it's not an appropriate time to talk, at least give them a time so that they know that they have time and space to come and ask you questions. Keep in mind that sometimes, in order for a child to understand what's going on around them, you may find that they're reenacting the trauma through play. If you see this happen, in a very calm way, explain to them why maybe this may not be appropriate, and then give the simple and very realistic answer. It's important to talk to your kids. Always remember, they're very keen to cues. We don't think they are, but they are. They're very keen to social cues. They can tell when you're upset. They can tell when what they're saying is making you angry or uncomfortable. So as much as you can, try and keep yourself out of that conversation with your child, and then take care of yourself and deal with it on your own later. Please keep in mind that I haven't mentioned all the ways that you can deal with your traumatic stress if you are experiencing it. And I also haven't covered all the ways in which you can help your child deal with the trauma that's surrounding them. But I'm hoping that the few that I've mentioned will be helpful to you in the interim, and that if you do feel that you need professional help, that you will seek it. Thank you so much for listening. Please take care of yourselves. God bless you. God bless Kenya.